Welcome to JoTea. I'm Jodie, and let's build that Married at First Sight Australia tea. Married at First Sight Australia 2026 is here. This season, me and they must be going based off of personality because the guys are clapped. Yeah, I don't know. Australia, maybe they are in a deficit of guys. You can already see from episode 1 that there's a lot of personalities coming here for television time for the moment. You know, they want to make sure that they've got some screen time. Gia being one of them. At their hens party, her and Beck kind of just clashed already and nothing even happened. They just didn't like each other off of a first look. It was hate at first sight. Our first couple that we had is Rachel and Steven. Now, these are our insecure couple of this season. We have one every season. There's always an insecure couple where the guy hates himself and the girl hates himself. But the experts always seem to think this is a great match. Let's put them together and then they can just hate themselves together. They usually always come together and end up hating each other just as much as they do internally, which always ends up really bad, and everybody always feels bad for the girl. I never do. Rachel and Steven are that couple of this season, and I just think the experts do this to, I don't know what sort of ratings they want to bring from it, but they definitely want to hurt people because it's never genuine. Now, Rachel needs us to know instantly that she's been a booty call for 7 years. She was in a 7-year situationship, and I'm so sorry, but that is your problem. You did that to yourself. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want us to do with that information. She's been single for 14 years. She also references Jeff and Rye in her intro. So that's who she wants her marriage to be based on. I mean, they were exes that met at the altar. So is she telling us she wants her 7-year fling from 14 years ago to be waiting for her at the altar? Because is that what you're here for? You're hoping the experts are going to match you with your ex? You're weird. The fact that she's still holding on to this 14 years later, you need to move on. You guys were not in a relationship. He never introduced you to his friends. Girl, stand up. One thing I caught from that introduction as well was sharing a glass with your cat is kind of crazy. Look, I hate when people come on the show looking for sympathy about, oh, I'm so insecure about myself and I hate myself and nobody wants me. I don't like them type of people, because why are you on the show if you don't love yourself? How can you expect somebody else to love you? She was matched with Steven, who also cannot stop telling us about his height. He wants to be 6 foot and he's not 6 foot. I mean, he doesn't even look that short. He just keeps referencing that he's really short and he wants to be 6 foot. And he thinks if he was 6 foot, he'd have more girls coming after him. I think if you just invested a little bit of time into yourself, brushed your hair, figured out a hairstyle, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe if you just care about yourself a little bit more, it might fix it. I don't think it's a height problem. He also has been single for over a decade and he doesn't know why either. I mean, on first introduction, you're telling people that you're insecure. So yeah, they're both coming into this heavy and it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, maybe they can pour so much love into each other that they'll end up loving themselves. I don't see that happening. I see it falling apart within 2 to 3 weeks. The wedding was just laughter. It was just laughter and nothing at all was funny. There was nothing funny about this wedding, but all she did was laugh. She laughed about 100 times in his face and it was very annoying. She wasn't the only one doing this though. Maybe it's an Australian thing. The fake laugh is very annoying. Why we do this fake laugh thing, I don't know. If it's not funny, you don't need to laugh. Maybe it's a nervous thing, but I don't get that. She couldn't even get through her vows. Her husband didn't seem to mind. Steven seems okay with it. At their wedding, she's not nervous. She's very outgoing. She's very bubbly. She's very loud and proud, okay? She wants everybody to know that she's in the room. Where Steven is very quiet. It seems like he could be the youngest sibling. I'm not sure. I know he's the favorite, his mom's favorite, but he seems like a very quiet, shy kind of guy. At the wedding, obviously, he was given this energy and he was a little bit reserved. Girls, you know, guys can be shy too. They can be a little bit nervous. They can feel anxious. They can have their own insecurities the same way she did. But no, women, we don't recognize that. He was clearly shy. She kept talking about how he's not all over her and telling her immediately how beautiful she is. I mean, he just met you. Just let him breathe. He probably didn't even realize he hasn't told you that. I think as well, some women come to this show and they think it's just for them. At the end of the night though, she does confront him and say, you haven't told me yet that I'm pretty. You haven't told me I'm beautiful. He's like, oh my God, I'm really ashamed. I can't believe I did that. He didn't realize that he hasn't told her that. It's very obvious that he didn't realize he was doing something wrong. They seem to be off to a good start, at least from the wedding day. And then when they went on their honeymoon, they were all right. We did see one day they had a very big argument, and honestly, I don't even know know where it's spouted from. They were standing in this field doing some wine testing, and of course she's laughing and being very loud. I think he's getting used to, I don't know, do you guys think he's getting used to it? They're talking about how she has this interest in football, and he's like, oh, you know, that's not really that feminine. I don't know a lot of girls that do that. Are you like the loud type and screaming at the TV and rah rah rah? She got very triggered by this. She did not like that he even asked this question.
Dickheads, you put the thing in. Do you turn into that?
No. Okay, well, okay. So I just get really excited.
When people get really passionate about sports, they just turn into, oh, morals go fast. And I'm wondering, you're going to be like, oh, ladylike. I'm a sophisticated lady, I'm ladylike. And just turn and go,
No. I think that's like, that's absolutely not a picture of Rachel at all. And I don't want you to go painting me in this like negative, huge light.
He did not stand there and say, you're so loud, you're so nasty. He didn't say that. He asked a question. He said, when you're at football games, are you loud? Period. She started acting like, oh, you're putting this bad image on me. You're calling me an animal. I don't act like that. I'm telling you I'm not like that. Stop putting that on me. No, he's literally just asking you because he's trying to get to know you. He's not trying to put any image on you. You said you like sports. He's trying to figure out what type of sports fan you are. She's just crashing out. She's like, how dare you put this image on me? And even when he's like, oh no, I'm not trying to do that, she's like, you're putting this image on me, and she starts crying. It went from 0 to 100. He didn't even understand what really happened, so he kind of walked away and was like, this is a lot. People don't understand communication. Just listen to the words he's saying and don't self-project. Like, she was literally projecting probably what she does. She probably is a loud football fan, and that's why she was so triggered, because otherwise why would you be? Our second couple is Alyssa and David. I think Alyssa is schizophrenic.
Who's your daddy? I'm my daddy. Who's a slay queen? I'm a slay queen. Are you gonna have a productive day? Yeah, I'm gonna have a productive day. We're gonna get shit done. Cheers.
Talking to yourself is one thing. Responding to yourself is another. And she's in that mirror talking to herself like a crazy person, Harley Quinn. She kept calling herself a slay queen. You're a slay queen. I'm a slay queen. I don't know what was going on in that mirror, why she has these conversations with herself. I don't know. Self-affirmations are definitely a thing, but she was having full-blown conversations with herself going on in that mirror. That is a sign of schizophrenia. David is a rapper, but he does not want people to think that he is here for alternative motives, and he is a Christian. So far, I also do not like this pairing. I mean, did the experts just not hear him when he said he doesn't want a wild, shot-taken, foul-mouthed girl? Because they literally heard him say that and then gave him that. She was in the other shot, literally taking shots out of penis straws, cursing every 2 seconds, using the Lord's name in vain. She is everything that he said he doesn't want. Now, when he walked down the aisle, her bridesmaid, best friend, I don't know what she is, could be her sister, I don't know, I don't really care. Her first comment was, oh my god, she likes a long black, and I'm already mad because what the fuck do you mean by that? Okay, yeah, that might be her coffee order, but that's a human. That's a human walking down the aisle. Are we okay? It seems like a fetish thing, and I just don't like it. Not food, not your fetish, we don't need to put all these little labels on them. Oh, cute, chocolate, long black, coffee. No, it's weird. Y'all are fucking weird. I don't like that shit. They make me mad. It makes me mad every time I hear it. And this wedding made me mad, especially when she got to the altar and she was talking about that she won't marry him until he gets down on one knee and proposes to her. I was screaming for him to stand on business, because he did. He pushed back quite a bit. He was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing that. Like, I will leave right now. Again, these women think this is just for them. He's meeting you at the altar. This is also his wedding at first sight. Unfortunately, though, he didn't stand on business, and he did actually get on one knee and propose to her. Are you stupid? What's not clocking in your brain? Because why would you even do that? You don't know this woman. That is like a humiliation ritual 101. He said it himself that he thought it was a red flag. He literally said her telling him to do that was seeing if she could walk all over him. But then you continue to do it. So you proves to her that she can walk all over you. She's gonna probably proceed to do that throughout the season. He did the whole get on one knee thing for her, and then she's screaming the Lord's name in vain. The whole wedding made me cringe, and then we even got to his vows. I mean, that just made the whole shit worse, because it was full of stereotypes and internalized hatred. Because why did he keep referencing to himself as like, I'm your Nigerian prince, but I'm not here to scam you and all this shit? I mean, no, that's a stereotype that's not real. Nigerian people are not scammers. So you putting that out there to make these people laugh is just weird and disgusting. Why are you playing into that shit? I thought his vows were vile. Through their wedding though, they seem to have some conversations. Even though she seems to be the exact opposite of what he asked for, he seems to be okay with it after a while. I mean, his friends did come up to him and be like, we don't think she's the girl for you. She's trying to embarrass you. We don't like it. But they seem to be getting close on their honeymoon. Our next couple is Luke and Mel. And I'll be so honest, when I seen this couple come on, I was like, oh my God, it's the first couple that I think is going to be really good together. They looked like they were going to match. They sounded like they were going to match. I was like, it's perfect. She wants somebody masculine. He wants somebody feminine. They're just going to be like a fairy tale. And I honestly thought she was going to get her movie that she was asking for. I did genuinely think they're a match. Experts, I agreed with you on that one. Producers were evil because they set them up for a literal failure. They told Luke on camera, do not forget the rings. You can't forget the rings. Then he forgot the rings. I don't know why they didn't have them. You would think that the producers would keep the rings on them until they're in the car. Putting that responsibility is trying to build a storyline. And Elliot from last season actually came on TikTok and said they tried to do this to him. They specifically were telling him, don't forget your rings. And they were making sure it was all on camera. He didn't forget his rings. So they had to redo the storyline and try to get Luke to do it. They succeeded because he's a little bit of an airhead, it seems. He's a farmer. He has to go back to where he was staying to get the rings. Producers did not call Mel's team and let them know he's running late. Don't let her walk down the aisle, which is bullshit because they're talking to each other non-stop. They could have stopped her from walking down the aisle very easily. They could have held her back. They literally did not need to have this play out. It was very scripted on producers' part. I don't understand why they'd want to ruin their wedding like this and set them up badly. I mean, it's very clear for any viewer to see this is on TV. You know what's happening. You can stop that. You can halt the wedding. Anybody with a brain could have seen that. Then he was chewing gum at the altar. That kind of turned her off him and he like literally handed it to his sister. He should have spit that out in the car. But she's crying because it doesn't feel like a romance movie. I mean, somebody kind of needs to let this girl know romance movies aren't real. He apologized over and over and over again. And even when it got to like late into the wedding, she was still not over it. She even went to her mom and was like, I'm not feeling this. I don't like it. I don't like that he was late. And she's like, just give him another chance. I don't know what her problem is. It doesn't feel like a movie for her, so she's just writing it off and she's not even trying. But a lot of people seem to think that they can have these romance fairy tales. They're not real. They're literally movies. On their honeymoon, I mean, did we see a lot of that? Not really. We did see her telling him to go and get on the boat so she can have the bed to herself. She literally wanted him to leave. She wouldn't let him sleep in the bedroom, so he had to sleep on the couch. And he told her, are you serious? Like, it's going to be really cold out here. Can I at least have a blanket? And she was like, no, you can have a towel. So you wouldn't let him in the bedroom and you won't give him a blanket? You're giving him a towel to sleep with. Are you even human? I don't like this woman at all. I really don't like the way she's treating him. Is not humane. I don't know what way she was raised. She was also telling him like, oh, if you were a Neanderthal, what would you do then? You wouldn't have a blanket to sleep with. And he's like, okay, if you were a Neanderthal, what then? Like, you sleep on the fucking couch. She's like, I couldn't be a Neanderthal. I'm a princess. Our next couple is Scott and Gia. Now, this is a very interesting matchup to me. At first, I really thought the experts were fucking me over because how they could match these two people together, I didn't know. He owns 3 businesses. He's basically married to his business. It's morning to night. He's there all the time. I don't know what you're doing getting married. If you want to be at the office morning to night, he's very successful. That's his life. He likes doing that. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He's very hardworking and all props to that. Gia, on the other hand, I mean, can we say she worked hard? I don't know. She says that she's a disability support worker. I don't know about that either. Her uncle at her wedding said that she's just a stay-at-home mom. So is she a support worker? Does she go to work? Is she a stay-at-home mom, or does she just cook pasta? I don't know. I don't know what story she's telling us. I don't know if the story she's telling us is true. One thing she does say is that she was a Playboy bunny and she lived in Hugh Hefner's house in America. Now she's retired, so she's a retired Playboy bunny. She's also a mother. She looks like that woman. That's all I can see when I see her is her, especially in the Cinderella story. And I thought this before her wedding even began, and it got worse when her wedding began because her and her friend were literally the Cinderella story evil stepmother and the 2 fucking sisters. That's literally all I could see. The way they were acting, like literally the Cinderella story. This was the only couple where there's actually a mom involved, and I probably already guarantee you they did not approve for him to be with a baby mom, because they literally said, we know he wants a family, but does he want one right now? Well, why didn't you ask him? Why didn't you ask him? Because this could have hit the fan and it could have been very bad. When she was getting ready, I actually felt a little bit bad for her because what the fuck is wrong with her friends? Her friends are weird. They literally came in there thinking that it was their show, cameras on. They came in taking shots, being loud as fuck, just ruining her vibe. She literally had to make them leave. Like I said, a scene straight out of the Cinderella story. Her dress was absolutely vile. You could see her underwear when she was walking. I did not fuck with that. She was walking down the aisle just cursing every 2 seconds, and this guy specifically told producers he wants a classy woman who is not like overly cursing, and you can tell that she is not his type of woman. You can just tell. Producers are playing a game here. That's what they're doing. They've literally matched all of these people wrong. Again, this isn't the first time they've done it, okay? That's obviously the name of the game at this point. They're taking the piss. At this point, they're not matching couples for real. They're matching couples for entertainment because these guys literally described what they don't want and they were given what they don't want. To me, just to me, okay, my opinion is not facts. It seemed like she was really ashamed of being a mother. I personally would think that you should feel more ashamed to be an ex-Playboy bunny than you are to be a mother. Why is your child such a secret? I genuinely think it should have been a bigger secret that you're a Playboy bunny, and I don't think we've seen her tell him that yet. Does he know that? I'm not sure. That should have been a bigger secret than I'm a fucking mother. Your child's not a secret. You should never be ashamed of your child. Because she's running around her wedding begging the people not to tell him that she wanted to tell him later. I don't know why they hold that back. It's like, if they're going to look at you different for it, that's a personality trait on them. But they should be given the respect to do that. They have a choice. If they don't want to be with somebody that already has a child, you cannot make that choice for them. Her uncle ended up telling his mother that she has a child, so obviously she had to quickly tell him, and she was crying and everything. She was like, I didn't want you to know this is my big secret, I'm a mom, I have a daughter. And he's like, okay, I've been with people that have kids before, I'm cool with it. Which is different. We've never seen people actually be cool with it. He seems cool with it. Good for her. I'm glad that he's cool with it. Their families seem to get on really well. Just like Alyssa and David, these two seemed like absolute opposite matchings, but they seem to be getting along really well. Their families have glided together. He seems to really like her. She seems to really like him. So they could be a strong match. As much as I thought that they wouldn't be a match, they seem that they could actually be a very strong match. We'll have to see how he is going to deal with her obviously being a loud person and an argumentative person. She was pretty mad that the girls wouldn't take shots with her at the hen party. He doesn't drink. How is she going to take that? Because she's a party person. She wants to get shit-faced. She wants to take shots. I think that will be their downfall, is that obviously she likes to be in arguments and cause drama. And he doesn't seem like he's going to be that type of person. But I could be wrong. He might back her. We'll see. Our next couple is Beck and Danny. I was worried for Beck when they first told me that she used to be overweight and she lost all the weight and she used to be really insecure about it. I was very scared that they were going to put her with Chris because it seemed like that's what they were alluding to. Luckily, they didn't. They put her with Danny, a British guy. These two did seem like a match to me. I actually was kind of like, yeah, I can see this working, until they got to the altars. Straight away, it was all about his friend. So his friend looks like Channing Tatum, and apparently he's a big stripper in Australia, and she knew this instantly. She was like, you slept with my friend a few days ago and you never called her back, which was pretty funny. But she took the fact that he was his friend, that means that Danny is at strip clubs every weekend sleeping with strippers because his friend is a stripper. Just doesn't make sense. That's judging somebody off a fact that you have no idea is true. He made a joke in his vows, if he gets locked up in prison, she has to come bail him out, and this literally sent her over the edge. Danny also has double standards. In his introduction, he kept telling us how he wants to have this relationship like his parents and his grandparents, this long love story. He also wants a marriage like Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know if people know the story of Bonnie and Clyde when they use this reference, because that's not a strong relationship like you keep saying you want. I felt a little bit bad for him. He seems like he's going in with the right intentions, but the British guys always get matched with the wrong people on this show, and then they always have a big downfall. He got this little crown and he said, oh, at the end of the night, if they're getting on really well, he'd love to give it to her. She literally was slagging it from the moment they got married. She was like, it's so ugly. Are you wearing that because you're British? Oh my god, I don't like like that, and she literally left it behind. At first, on the honeymoons, it seemed like they were getting along really well, but it went bad very quickly. She thinks that they have a great emotional, physical connection. She says that at the very beginning, she's like, oh, we've slept together, the physical is there, the emotional is there, we really like each other. And then she realizes that he's not feeling the same way, so she almost flips a switch and she's like, no, there's no physical connection there, we don't like each other, there's no chemistry. It's like, you told us 10 minutes ago you felt that, so you're lying just because he said that it's not there. He's also saying it's only day one, let's get to know each other. I think this is also why a lot of guys on these shows don't like to get physical too quick, because when you don't know somebody, it just will probably feel like a one night stand. But a lot of girls like this just want to jump into it, and then it's ruined, and then they cry and they're like, you slept with me for no reason. I can see that happening here. One big argument they ended up having then was that he keeps staring at other women on the honeymoon. He was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, I've never seen that girl before. She brought out all these examples that he's been watching her running past the apartment, and he's like, I've never seen her before. I could also analyze while they were having this argument, right? Somebody walked behind him and he did that. He's clearly a person that will look at movement around him. He probably didn't register that he even looked at that guy. Why didn't she call that out? Why didn't she like, oh, you're looking at that guy? Do you like guys? You're looking at him. She didn't call him out on that. You only have an issue with that because you're a little bit insecure in yourself. If someone's running past the apartment, he's looking over the balcony, you could assume he's looking at her, and he probably doesn't even, his eyes could meet hers and he probably wouldn't even acknowledge that it did. I'm not saying that that's a fact. Yes, he could have been looking at another woman. Just from watching his actions, he probably didn't even realize that was a thing. So she's blown this out of proportion. He says, forget this ever happened, let's press restart. Within 20 minutes, she brought it back up again. She was like, go talk to her girlfriend. Even he was like, nah, I'm not doing this, which is so valid. I'm telling you, the British guys that come on this show always get the short end of the stick. The same thing happened to Billy last year. He seemed to have great intentions in there, and his partner just shat all over him basically. I hope Beck will kind of cop on a little bit, but I just don't see this working now. I think it's gone sour too quick. Our next couple is Chris and Brooke. On the first introduction of Chris, they tried to make it out like he was like Elliot, but worse. They tried to say he was worse than Elliot. No, he's not, and Elliot was actually funny, okay? So let's not give him that title. He doesn't deserve it. Chris came in basically just saying that the experts have no idea what they're talking about, and there's a 0.0001% of the experiment actually working, which is a fact, which actually literal facts. Only like one couple comes out of every 2 seasons, so that is a fact. They seen this as a storyline that he's going to be the worst person to deal with, and he's so bad. He doesn't like fat women, and he doesn't like this about women. He doesn't like women with tan, all of this crap, right? He's the villain. They were going with this. When we seen his real introduction, he actually seems like he's afraid to talk to women. He's gone to an all-boys school all his life, so he's never even had female friends. He doesn't really have a fucking clue what he's talking about. People are allowed to have preferences. It's just, it's real life. Okay, reality TV, it's real life. Now, he was matched with Brooke, who is actually a model. Her whole storyline is that she's always been cheated on and she's never had anybody faithful to her, so that's why she's here. Stick to the end if you want a spoiler on that one, because I'm not going to put it in here. This is the introduction to these couples. If you want a spoiler, stick to the end and I'll let you know. When she came up the aisle, Chris was really happy with her. He really liked Brooke. I'm not sure if she really liked the look of him. Obviously in his vows, he was chatting shit about the experts. Honestly, I feel like they told him to do that. He doesn't really seem like the type of person who wants to just keep harping on about it. And we know that they make you put certain shit in your vows. She wouldn't kiss him when they had to kiss. She kissed him on the cheek. And his friends were really pissed off about this. They were like, who does she think she is? Oh my God, why is she not kissing him? Like, his friends were actually really vexed. She didn't even kiss him that night at the wedding either. She's not giving a lot to him though. It seems like he's kind of pretty interested in her and is ready to kind of give it a real shot, even though it seemed like he was coming in here with his walls up and he hates Married at First Sight and the experts. It seems a little bit one-sided at the moment, so I will be interested to see how it goes in the apartments. Rebecca and Steve are our old couple of the season. They're both in their 50s. He's got 4 daughters and she's got 1 son. I don't have a lot of feedback on these ones, to be fair. Again, the old couples have never really worked on this show. They're usually the first out of the experiment. These seem to be off to a good start. They really do seem to be off to a good start, but so did last season's, and then it hit the fan very quickly. But I think it could be different for them. He seems to really respect women. He's got 4 daughters. He seems to know what he wants. She is the very loud type. She is that type of person again who is doing the whole fake laughter. She's laughing after every sentence, which was very annoying. Her laugh really did go through me. They're one of them couples, we just have to wait and see what they're going to be like, because right now I don't have any opinion on them, to be fair. And I don't want to just talk about them for the sake of talking about them. Our next couple is Stella and Philip. Stella is from Lithuania and Philip is from Croatia. She actually only came to Australia about 9 to 10 years ago, I think she said. And Philip came here when he was a baby, so there's a bit of a difference there. She still very much was raised in Lithuania. He was raised Australian. I really like these two. I think they could be a great pair and I think they could be great individually. I do really like these. I'm excited to see where their journey goes. Stella's friends are definitely sabotaging her in the first episode, and I'm glad they're not going to be on the honeymoons with them or through the experiment, because they would just be in her ear like this. I did start asking myself, does Joe want Stella for himself? Does Joe like women? And if he likes women, does he like Stella? Has Stella friend zoned him? Because the way he's talking seems like he wants Stella. Philip did mention in his vows that he's a YouTuber, and in the last 2 years he's turned his life around. He's went on a self-care journey. He's documented that all on his YouTube channel, and he coaches people to help them have a better life. Listen, that's his career. I would say 8 out of 10 people talk about their career or their job in their vows. Most people do. Why they have a problem with him talking about his career in his vows doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of people seem to think that he's here for clout. Her friends seem to think he's here for the wrong reasons. He's just telling her about himself and his vows. They met at first sight. That's what you're supposed to do. And they're like, well, she didn't talk about her job and her vows. Nobody stopped her. She could have talked about whatever she wanted to. I do actually think he's here for genuine reasons. His family seems really lovely. He seems like a really nice guy. He seems like he's got good intentions. One thing that then really ticked me over was one of her friends came up during the wedding and said, okay, we're Lithuanian. We have this tradition. This is what we do at weddings. We take a shot of vodka, blah, blah, blah. Okay, stop, pause right there, because he doesn't drink and he doesn't smoke. He lives a very healthy lifestyle, and that's his choice. He also coaches people on how to live this lifestyle too. They were not taking the fact that he said he's not drinking. You would not tell a healed drug addict to take drugs just because it's part of the party. You wouldn't do that. So why are you trying to force him to drink vodka because it's part of your traditions? He's not disrespecting your traditions by not drinking that. He just doesn't drink alcohol, and you need to respect that. I hate people like that. I don't drink alcohol, and I hate anybody that tries to pressure it. I don't give a fuck about your traditions, respectfully. And they tried to turn it on, oh, he's doing this for his image, all this crap. No, if somebody doesn't drink, you need to learn to respect that. And I think that's going to be a problem that comes up in this new generation, because a lot of us are starting to stop drinking alcohol because we don't need to drink for everything. The generation before us has made us all just be fucking natural alcoholics for no reason. And people can't understand when we grow up now and we don't want to touch it. They don't get that. It just doesn't clock in their brains why we wouldn't want to drink. Them trying to force that on him really irked me. And then her friend tried to corner him and was like, you're here for different intentions. I can feel your energy. You're irritated. You're getting irritated. And he was like, bitch, I don't even know who you are. I'm here for your friend. I'm not here for you. I care about what she thinks about me. Get the fuck out of my face. And yeah, that's what you should have told her, to be fair. I think him and Stella are going to be fine once she doesn't let them get in her head. They're probably the only couple I'm looking forward to seeing getting to know each other and seeing where it can lead to. Our final couple is Julia and Grayson. They made a really big thing out of Julia's sexuality. They kept showing us over and over again her telling us that she was bisexual, which is totally fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. They made it a big storyline though for her to then go and marry a man. It didn't need to be part of her storyline because they didn't even match her with a woman. In the UK version, we had a similar storyline where the girl was saying, I don't know if I'm matched with a man or a woman, and she was matched with a woman, so it made sense why it was part of her story. But they really made Julia harp on about this for her then to be matched with Grayson. Grayson actually knows a past Mafs contestant who is still in his marriage, so they had a successful run. Because of this, they obviously treated this couple like royalty because they literally got the Sydney Opera House for their wedding. We've never seen that before. If we have, correct me, but I don't think that's happened before. They really rolled out the carpet for this guy. One thing I did find interesting though, when Julia married Grayson and they were talking, she was doing her little video things, she did say, that's never going to change about me, I'm bisexual, blah blah blah. But you're married now, you're married to a guy. Obviously your sexuality doesn't change, but she's talking like, oh, you have to accept that or leave it. But you're in a relationship now, so it shouldn't matter, because you shouldn't be dating women or men because you're married. That all goes out the window. It's irrelevant, right? Did anybody else think that, or was it just me? Because it really shouldn't matter now. You're in a relationship. He didn't have a problem with it. He said he didn't really care. He's open-minded. I just found it really strange that she had that barrier there. She was like, you take it or you leave it. I'm this, I'm that. But these also seem to really click. They seem to really like each other. By the end of the night, like, they were really wrapped up in each other, and it seems like very quickly they're aligning. They were definitely one that had the most sparks, I think, at their wedding. They're kind of another one that I'm looking forward to seeing, but they're also kind of a little bit boring to me. I think we are definitely on for a very explosive season. I think there's going to be a lot of drama. Already, okay, this is a spoiler. If you don't want to hear the spoiler, skip forward. Brooke is actually pregnant. So she is pregnant for her ex-boyfriend. At the time of Mafs, it was her ex-boyfriend. But during filming, she was leaving every weekend to go and see this ex-boyfriend, and she ended up pregnant for him during filming. So obviously her and Chris are not going to work. I'm actually really looking forward to just kind of keeping an eye out to see how their marriage is on screen, because if she's leaving every weekend, I will be like, what the fuck? Why are you leaving every weekend? She was treating Mafs like a 9-to-5 Monday to Friday job and then going home to her mom at the weekend. Why did the producers not catch this? Why is this even allowed? Apparently they were doing drug tests every time she came back, and that's when their eyebrows start raising because she was pregnant. That's very suspicious. I need producers to do better. Coming on with a boyfriend is one thing, but leaving every weekend to go home. We also just seen announced that they are going to be doing a Married at First Sight All-Stars. I'm very confused. This means that the couples are obviously going in there for clout. The first time, yes, I can believe you if you're going on there for marriage and for love, because it works for some people. You're telling me you're going back on after having a horrible time last time to get married to somebody that's probably from the other side of the world, and you think it's going to work this time? I'm not buying it. I don't know who's going to be on it, but I can imagine they're just going to bring the most outrageous, dirty personalities back. Let me know your opinions on that though. A lot of people seem to be excited about it. It kind of takes away the whole point for me, and it makes it very fake. But I'm looking forward to this season. Week 1 next week is obviously going to be the real first week where we see dinner parties and how they're going to gel living together. This is just them meeting. I don't like most of them. Maybe I like 2 people. Let me know all your opinions below. Who do you think is going to last? And who is your favorite so far? Because there's not many to choose from. I'm looking forward to reading your comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that video, and I will see you guys here in the next video.